I have been wanting to make this video for a while now. It is August 2018, and in June 2016, over 2 years ago, I officially came out publicly online. And I have been wanting to make a follow-up video since last year, but that didn't happen. So this is my now 2-year since coming out video. But also, it's actually been 3 years since I've come out for the first time, but 2 years publicly. So there's a few things I want to talk about, things that, I didn't touch on in the last video, and some things I realized in hindsight, and just how life has been since coming out. I'm going to try to make this as quick as I can, but I feel like it's going to be a long video, so get comfortable. So from 2010 to 2014, I dated a guy, and I was 17 to 21, and he was the first guy that I was in a serious relationship with, when previously I actually was convinced I was asexual, because I just really had no attraction to any guy, and prior to that I didn't think I had any feelings for girls. So I connected with him so well, and we share a personality type, and he met me because of my YouTube videos, and overall he became family and friendship for me, and his family I was super close with at the time. And so whenever he broke up with me in 2014, I was devastated. I was absolutely devastated, because I didn't know anyone here in California, and at that point I wasn't really sure if I should stay. But after him, I decided to try OkCupid. I started talking to a guy, and I think we just related with a few common interests on music or something, and we met, and we ended up seeing each other for about a year, like a little under a year, but we never made things official. We were never like officially dating. I was just seeing him because throughout the whole course of me being involved with him, I was struggling with my sexuality during that time. The reason why I was struggling with my sexuality during that time is because I had a friend, and I'm just going to call her S. So S and I went way back, like 5 years, back. Like, we knew each other for 5 years, online, mostly through Twitter, but we actually lived an hour away from each other, and we had just started meeting that year, and we were hanging out, and it was so much fun, and she happened to live next to this guy from OkCupid that I was seeing. So I'd go hang out with him and with her, and I fell in love. I fell in love with her, and she knows this. I told her maybe like a year and a half after the fact, so she's aware of it. She's not aware of me including this in this video, which is really embarrassing if she's watching this. And also it's really embarrassing if the guy that I was seeing is watching this after the fact. But he knew I was struggling with my sexuality, because I told him, but I didn't tell him who I had a crush on. But the whole time I was crushing on my friend, because I don't want to say because of this, but what made me realize I had so much love for her is because she was seeing a guy that was in a polyamorous relationship, and it was her first relationship at all, and she loved, or at least she cared about him so much, but it was just really, really hard on her. And I just remember laying in my bed with her next to me, thinking, man, I could treat her so much better. I just want to fix this. I want to make her happy. And that's just how it went. I just had all these feelings for her, but the feelings were never reciprocated, so nothing ever took place. But I loved her so much. And God, that's so embarrassing to admit. Um, luckily, her and I are still friends. But yeah, so I ended up seeing that guy for about under a year. But I was so reluctant to ever putting a title on us because it didn't feel right. I didn't have the same connection with him like I did with my ex. And I just realized, man, I really like girls. And I still was not yet aware of the extent of my feelings towards girls. So I would tell him, I'm like, I don't know if I can be with you because I'm just struggling so much with my sexuality. And we would like talk and cry and everything over it. And finally we stopped seeing each other because things just became really awkward or weird. And like, he was a really cool and great guy. Like, there was nothing wrong with this guy. He was awesome. He was great. I just did not have feelings for him in that way, and I could never put like my finger on it. So after we stopped seeing each other, I went back to OkCupid again, but I was just signed up for girls, and I was trying to meet girls off of OkCupid. Never happened though. It just did not happen. Did not happen for me. All the girls that I was interested in were not interested in me, and the girl that I was like most interested in, I followed her on Instagram, and my friend who would like help me swipe, she followed her on Instagram, and then the girl followed my friend back but not me, and I was just heart. Camera just died. Well, didn't die. Camera became full. Did not work out for me. But that's when I started having a lot of my emotional breakdowns over why do I still feel so confused? Why don't I feel happy with the, because at the time I was identifying to a few friends as bi just to kind of get used to it. But it still just did not feel right for me. And so I was crying while driving all the time. I was crying while trying on clothes all the time. And then, there was this one day that I was driving with one of my really close friends, and he happened to know that I had been struggling with my sexuality. So we were driving, and I told him, I was like, I'm gay. And he was like, yeah? And I just remember, like, it felt so right. Like, that was what it finally, the term coming out of my mouth finally felt like it matched me. And we were driving down a road that I had so many emotional breakdowns on, and I opened the window and I screamed it out the window that I'm gay, and it just felt amazing. So after that, it's the summer of 2015 that this is all going on, came out to two of my friends at Disneyland, and I remember crying over pizza. So after coming out to my 3 friends, and I also had come out to some people that I used to work with, I decided I needed to now tell people in my other side of my world, which was my cosplay and convention friends. I was new to the cosplay scene. I didn't really know too many people, but I went to Long Beach Comic Con in September of 2015, and at the end of the first day, I took my friend Rudy home because he needed a ride. And during that ride home, he actually knew the OkCupid guy from last year, and he asked me, why did you, like, this is just a small world, like, he happened to know him, and he was like, why did you and that guy break up? And it caught me so off guard because I had no idea that he knew him. And I was just like really stressed out when he asked me. I was like freaking out because I was not ready to come out at that point. I was thinking about it, but I was not prepared for that. And in that moment, I'm driving him home on the freeway, and I start crying. And telling him I'm gay. That's why it didn't work out, because I was struggling with my sexuality, and I've now come to terms with my sexuality, and I'm gay. And from that point forward, me and Rudy just became really close friends, because instead of just being two con goers, like a cosplayer and a photographer, we actually became friends because he knew that aspect about me that nobody else knew. And then after that is whenever things got really complicated, and I was feeling ready to come out to my parents and to my sister, and I was contemplating it, and I was feeling like, yeah, this is right, this feels right, I'm coming out to everyone and I'm ready. And then I met someone. Well, I'm not going to talk much about this. I don't want to. I don't care to. But I met someone that did, and I'm only talking about it because it happens to so many people. So without getting into details, I'm not going to get into details, but just long story short, someone challenged me on my sexuality, made me doubt myself a lot, and basically told me that they knew what they were getting themselves into by pursuing me, and made things really, really confusing for me, and just made me second guess myself a lot. So I went back into the closet during that time. That was an awful moment of time for me, where I really resented who I was, because not only did I just come out to everyone that mattered to me, I went back into the closet and was trying to live a lie. And that time was really difficult, because it was like I had stepped back into a closet, and so I was trying to figure out myself more, even though I knew who I was. But you know, when you are being manipulated to think one way, or to try something, or maybe you haven't met the right guy yet, that kind of stuff, you're in such a vulnerable position, because you're just in such a nervous part of your life. I was about to come out to parents, and that was scary. Yeah, that lasted a few months, but then after that ended, I was finally ready. So I then decided to come out to my family, and I remember I told my sister first, and she wondered if I was bi. She was like, "Are you bi?" And I was like, "No, I'm gay." And she congratulated me, and then I came out to my mom. And it was funny because I called her and I told her I had to tell her something serious. And right as I told her that, I had a phone call come in from my car insurance, or something important. And I was like, sorry, I have to take this. So I took the call, and then I called my mom back, and she was like anxiously waiting to hear the rest of my story. And I told her that I'm gay, and she was just relieved that I wasn't pregnant. And then after that, I called and told my dad. And then after that, I made my video that I uploaded to YouTube. Now, I was scared to upload that video because I was nervous that it would hurt people who I had dated. So I was really scared to make that, but it felt right. It felt good to finally come forward about, you know, my sexuality. So from that point forward, I just felt like myself. And not much has changed. So a few months after that, I got my first girlfriend, and we were long distance. And we dated for, I think it was like 8 or 9 months, but pretty much a year, because she was following me on Twitter, and we just started interacting from there. And ultimately we were not a good match. We were not compatible, but she was still really, really caring and loving, and like I wish her the absolute best. And that breakup was actually really, really hard on me because I felt really bad that a lot of my past trauma and like pain was something that carried into our relationship when I should have been getting help, which luckily I'm currently getting help, but I'm seeing a therapist. I made lots of friends that were also within the LGBT community, and it just was awesome and it was amazing. Now majority of my friends are some kind of gay. um, and I wouldn't have it any other way. It's just, you know, but I also have a lot of straight friends, and I have a lot of straight male friends that are nothing but supportive and awesome and caring and kind towards me, and never challenge me, never question me. Honestly, life has not been that different. A lot of people, they say you have to come out every single day when you're gay. For me, that doesn't really happen. Not that many people hit on me, and not that many people try to. So it's not often that I have to say anything, but there have been a few times, and I can make a video about my weird encounters with like men who try hitting on me. As it stands, I'm a lot happier to now finally be out and to be myself. But I think right now the thing I'm missing is just wishing I had someone. I told myself I would be single for all of 2018, and that's what I wanted, but I don't want that anymore. I really do want someone, but I don't think I'm not ready just yet, and I feel like the right person will come along when the time is right. I don't know. I'm tired. I'm really tired. I wasn't expecting my video process to take this long, just because the battery died earlier and then my memory card got full. I just want to say thank you for watching. I've been really nervous to make this, and I feel like it's not even a fraction of my story because I've been really streamlining it, but I hope that with streamlining it, it still even makes sense. There's not much different about my life other than I finally feel like I'm the person I'm meant to be, and I finally can be open to love that is meant for me. I just hope that I find it one day soon, and I'll be happy. But until then, I'm just going to keep working on myself and keep going to therapy, and you know, the right person will come along one day. She's out there, I'm here, so we'll see what happens. But thank you guys for watching, and I hope to have a new video soon. Bye.